The AMAX was finally nerfed in Call of Duty Warzone, and I'm going to keep you guys on top of the meta. Let's go. All right, you guys, we're just going to jump into this super quickly here. We have the patch notes where you can go in through and read them yourself if you guys want off of Raven Software's Twitter, or I'll drop the link in the description below. But basically, they got rid of the Street Sweeper on the ground loot because it was too OP, and threw the Howler 77 back on the ground loot. I think it's a great change. The Street Sweeper was automatically winning you gunfights if you had it in close range battles, and that's not fun on ground loot, so that's great. And then we had big changes in multiple guns here. The AMAX actually wasn't too big of a change. Everyone's just kind of expecting it to get completely nerfed to the ground, but the minimum damage decreased from 32 to 31, so very minimal damage. I don't think it's really going to make too big of a difference at the end of the day, so I'm very happy about that. Very healthy nerf. I think it's still going to be in the mix a little bit. ffar 83, basically too much headshot damage, and then the movement speed, which was the big thing, got nerfed by 7%. 7% is a pretty big nerf, so hopefully we'll get back to SMG meta, which I do believe is going to happen. Shotguns, we got the Street Sweeper got nerfed completely. I don't know how big it's going to be, but it looks like they pretty much hit all the different things. More recoil, more ADS speed, and then more spread on the shot. Then we had the bullfrog that basically got base movement speed increase on both sprint out and base movement speed. We got increases, which is interesting because they did nerf the maximum damage, but it buffed the range on it. So I think the bullfrog's still going to be very much in the meta. And then we have the PPSH getting a maximum damage range increase along with open bolt delay. So basically you can shoot quicker right off the rip. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen on that. Along with that, we have a couple other things, including sniper changes. This one I'm very interested in. I'm going to have to do some testing on it. The Cold War AK. They look like they're trying to make it a main AR. It has good bullet velocity compared to other weapons and good time to kill across in range situations, technically, at the end of the day. So if this 3-time scope works well on the AK, it definitely could go in the meta as well. And then we have a bunch of stock changes here, which we all kind of expected on ADS speeds and all that good stuff while firing. Movement speed in general was nerfed, so thank goodness. We're going back to SMG meta, guys. We can play AR and SMGs again. So I want to keep you guys ahead of the game here. This might be a little messy because I'm doing this between work right now, but I'm just going to throw you guys a bunch of classes on guns that I think are going to be meta going forward in no particular order, except for one I will say is going to be the best going forward in my opinion. But we're just going to start off here. We got the Kilo. The Kilo has always been a great gun. A lot of people don't think it does enough damage, but with the AMAX being nerfed, there is a very consistent spot right now where there is a lot of weapons that are just going to be in this specific range of damage. So the Kilo, everyone says it doesn't hit hard enough. It still does hit just as good as everything else. It just feels different because you guys have been used to the M16 meta, the AUG meta, AMAX meta that just finished, which I do think I'm going to throw the AMAX in here still in a second, but I'm going to throw it there with the Cold War MP5. The Cold War MP5, guys, is super slept on. I think both MP5s are very viable right now. This build is my favorite build with it, but some people like throwing the laser on there. There's so many different builds with the MP5s for both of them that you really can't go wrong with them because the base stats are just so good. We have the Mac 10 build that I've always loved. I don't know if this Raider stock is going to be worth it anymore with the changes to movement speed, so I would probably throw the no stock on it just for safekeeping if you guys want to try them out. I haven't got a lot of testing yet in because I am working, like I said. Next, we have the Grau with the monolithic suppressor, Archangel barrel, all the good stuff. It's been the same Grau build for a long time now, and it is, I think it's going to stay in, like, it's just going to be like under the radar. That time to kill at long range isn't the greatest, but it forever has no recoil, so very easy to use. It's great for people on head glitches, all that good stuff. Then we have the AMAX still. I think this is still going to be the best build for it because all they did was they nerfed a little bit of damage on it, which everyone kind of expected. I think it's going to be meta still. And like in the mix. I don't think it's going to be like the ultimate meta still, which it could be because it was a very small nerf, but it's going to be in the mix somewhere. The Bullfrog, in my opinion, is going to be the top SMG, potentially with the Mac 10 and the MP5s. in the LC10, but this build right here has always been my go-to on it. It feels great movement speed with it. I don't know how much this skeletal stock's gonna help anymore, so maybe a no stock might be better. We haven't gotten the testing on that either, but this is a great gun going forward. Then we have the right here, I'm gonna throw the Kar 98K in there because someone got mad at me for not putting it in my last video. It's my favorite sniper ever. I use it all the time on stream. You really just can't go wrong. Hit your shots at the end of the day and you'll do great with that gun. Gotta hit him in the head though. The Modern Warfare MP5, this has always been my favorite build. Great movement, great hip fire, awesome movement speed, great ADS speed. We just made a video on it recently, and every gun that we have on this, guys, we're flying through this because if you want to see these builds in action, I have a ton of videos on my YouTube channel using these builds, so you can't go wrong. Next, the Krig has been very high up in the meta. I really like it with the SUSAT multi-zoom. If you don't love it with this SUSAT multi-zoom, you can always throw the 3 times on it. I know it's kind of preference at the end of the day, but this is definitely the best build for it. It absolutely beams people. You got to hit upper body, though. And then I'm going to throw the AS Val in there just because people get mad at me for not throwing it in there. You always got to have it with sleight of hand though. And I have that here for you. I have it on sleight of hand, as you can see there. But that is the build with it. It has almost no recoil, great range, insane time to kill. And at the end of the day, the only big thing is that if this thing had a 45 round mag, it would probably be the best gun in the game for secondary. It wouldn't even be close. But with that 30 round mag, you really do run into some issues. And then what I think is the best gun in the game currently is the Ram 7, guys. The Ram 7 has almost no recoil. It absolutely beams from all ranges. It has a crazy time to kill if you hit. It doesn't have as fast as if you hit headshots with other guns, but it is way easier to hit headshots with this because it has almost no recoil. So at the end of the day, it's just an easier way to hit your shots because the gun has no recoil. It's like an M13 on steroids. So if you like the M13, you'll like this gun, but you do have to have good accuracy with it to really make it work because, like I said, the damage rate, it isn't the greatest. It doesn't have the highest damage, but the fire rate on it is insane. So the time to kill really goes off if you can hit your shots. And then we have the LC10. The LC10, I think, is the best. Right there with the bullfrog and the MP5s, it's definitely the top tier right now. Like, this thing is an absolute beast. If you guys haven't leveled it or tried it yet, it's kind of been under the radar because J-God slept on it at the beginning, and a lot of people have been slowly over time being like, this thing actually is really good. And they did have a little buff on it going into season 3. So if you guys have not tried it yet, definitely give it a try. It is a beast, guys. Like, I almost said a cuss word there, but I know I can't cuss when I'm on YouTube. So guys, I think that is just about it there. We just flew through a bunch of loadouts here for you guys. I know it was super fast, not super detailed. If you guys do want a more detailed version of this, I do have every one of these builds on my YouTube channel. I just wanted to get something out to you guys because I really appreciate the heck out of you guys. And I know you guys just want to see builds at the end of the day and what's going to make you guys better at Call of Duty. So stay ahead of the meta with my channel here, guys. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below what you guys want to see next. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Little speed run here for you. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.